What is up, you guys? It is Zach, and welcome back to my channel. Today, we are going to be talking about Nintendo Switch Sports. I nearly said Wii Sports. I always do that. I don't know why, but Nintendo Switch Sports. Now, as you guys know, over the weekend, there was basically a global test fire of Wii Sports, or Switch Sports. Jeez, I'm never going to stop doing that. Oh my gosh. There was this global test event, and I participated in it, and of course, because Nintendo is Nintendo, I can't share gameplay, I can't say anything, I can't reveal any details, which is weird. I mean, I'm guessing people have probably released stuff about the game, but I'm not risking a copyright claim for that, so Nintendo Ninjas, hide away. But I did want to talk about Nintendo Switch Sports because it's looking like a pretty fun time. The more and more I'm seeing of it, the more and more optimistic I'm getting, and just the more warmed up to it I'm getting. Obviously, many of us were used to the old Wii Sports style, how simple it was, and just how basic it was almost. I feel like Wii Sports thrived on its simplicity. It wasn't anything too complicated. It was literally just sports that you could pick up and play. And that's leading me into the one downside of this game, which to me is the number of sports. Wii Sports Resort had, I believe, about 12 sports involved in that one package. And here, we have 6 at launch with one other coming in a further update. So I wanted to round it up to 12 because GameXplain said in an update video that there is another stadium that looks like more sports can be added in the future, and I'm really hoping that's the case. So for today's video, I'm going to be talking about the 5 sports I want to see the most added in to Nintendo Switch Sports. I got it right that time. So without any further ado, let's get into the list. The first sport I want to talk about is kind of cheating, because 2 sports in one, give me deja vu to that Mario Strikers video I just released on Friday. But nevertheless, it is frisbee/frisbee golf. Now, I'm going to talk about frisbee, like for the majority of this. Frisbee, I remember from Wii Sports Resort. I didn't play much of Wii Sports Resort. I was more so the original Wii Sports, kind of player, but I did play Wii Sports Resort a couple of times. And one sport I do fondly remember is frisbee, because from what I remember, and keep in mind it has been years, so I apologize if I get the details wrong, I remember you threw a frisbee and the goal was to get a dog to run out and catch it. You had to throw it. I don't know if you had to direct the dog where to go or throw it in a specific place. I don't really remember those fine details, but I do remember the doggo. And if there is any way to sell a game in 2022 is to add a cute doggo to it. I mean, look at him. He's adorable. Who's a good little boy? But in all seriousness, frisbee could be a lot of fun to have here. And of course there is frisbee golf, using those same mechanics but applying it to golf. I mean, if we're going to get regular golf, might as well also add frisbee golf, because, I mean, why not? Even if it's on the same courses, or maybe just the same courses but smaller, it can still be a decent amount of fun. It's an extra way for people to play golf, and honestly, they should do it. No clue why they wouldn't, but most importantly, get this doggo back. Next up, from the original Wii Sports, this is a sport I really liked because of how simple it was to play, and that is baseball. Baseball was super simple to play on Wii Sports, and I almost really liked how simple it was. Usually the simpler sports, I just don't like how they oversimplify it, but with baseball for some reason, I kind of like how they did it. Basically, it didn't really matter, you didn't really control the outfield at all. You were mainly either pitching or batting. And how many bases you went was all determined on where your ball went, like how far it went. I mean, obviously, if it gets into out of the field, it's a home run, or out of the park. It all depends on how you hit the ball. And I think it's really cool. It's a simple way to play baseball, and I think bringing that back would be awesome. Have that simple gameplay, but maybe add a couple of things. Maybe add it to where you have to shake your Joy-Cons like this to run, or maybe use that leg strap accessory for this sport and actually run. You can't see it, but I'm moving my feet, and actually run so that you can move bases. That could be a really cool and engaging way to play baseball while also keeping the relative simplicity of it. It could be really fun, and I don't know, it'd be a really cool sport to see. Next up is archery. Archery is a sport from Wii Sports Resort, and I'll be honest, I don't have many memories with this one. But one thing I really do like about this sport is that it seems really simple to play. You see, every other sport requires some sort of really high engagement, maybe besides golf, where you really have to pay attention to things that are going on. And I think that archery could be a really good sport like bowling that's just more of a chillax kind of sport. Something where you and a friend, you know, you're doing your bow, maybe you can require 2 Joy-Cons, where one Joy-Con's here and the other you're using to pull back the bow. The motion controls on the Joy-Cons are a little bit finicky, so there may be some issues with that, but if they rely more on the gyro controls rather than the actual pointer controls, I think they can make it work, personally. Like I said, me and Wii Sports Resort don't have much of a history, so I don't really remember how this one was played. If this one was played completely based on pointer controls, then by golly, I'll look silly, but I feel like they can do it in a way where it doesn't require you to use precise pointing controls, but you can more so use gyro to adjust where your bow and arrow are facing. That could be really, really cool. I hope that they do that. Okay, next up, this one's probably the biggest one for me. This is a sport I want to see come back the most, personally, and that is boxing. Boxing, I remember from the Nintendo Wii Sports, being just so much fun, you know, just being able to beat the crap out of your opponent, you know, I don't know, it can be really, really cool. It's been years since I've played it, I will admit. I haven't played any of the Wii Sports games in probably at least, like, 7-8 years. But it's just so much fun regardless. And obviously, we have our boy, Matt. Matt needs to come back. If Matt is not in Wii Sports, or Nintendo Switch Sports, that will be an ultimate crime. Matt is an MVP in the Wii Sports community. And, I don't know, hope to see him come back, and I hope to see boxing come back. Boxing's a really good time, and, yeah. The last sport I have here on this list is table tennis. I was kind of doubting putting this one in because of the fact that we already have volleyball, tennis, and badminton, which are all relatively similar sports. But I feel like table tennis could function in a very different way. Because, for the most part in table tennis, you're just moving on a horizontal axis. You're not really moving frontwards and backwards. So maybe you can have control of your player. And, you know, obviously you hit the ping pong ball and actually play a cool round of table tennis. I'm not sure if that was in Clubhouse games. It might have been. I mean, I'm sure a lot of these sports were in Clubhouse games. But, I don't know. It could be a really, really cool sport to add, and it will feel different than tennis, badminton, and volleyball. Because, like I said, you can actually move on your own and not have a computer move for you. It could just be a lot of fun. And table tennis could be a really competitive sport. Once you really get into it, it can get heated. I've played actual table tennis / ping pong matches before with friends of mine and all that, and those matches can get heated. So I can imagine playing table tennis on Nintendo Switch Sports would be an actually crazy time. So we'll have to wait and see if Nintendo do it. So there you have it, guys. That's my list of 5 sports from Wii Sports Past that I would love to see come to Nintendo Switch Sports. Let me know your list of sports you'd like to see down in the comments down below. I would truly like to hear what you guys have to say. And, yeah, I don't have much else to add besides thank you guys so much for watching today's video. Hopefully you enjoyed. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. All that stuff down below. Hit that notification bell so that you're notified of when I upload videos. And check out the merch store. There's some cool ZakPak merch up on there for you to check out. And, yeah. So until next time, you guys, I'll see you in the next video.